about 5 minutes out from a touch-up drag here, so you could hurry along with your hand walking here as we lead up to our Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girl Club Hunt Team Exhibition tonight. Our Friday evening activities here at our Winter Equestrian Festival here on week 5 of our tour of the winter here in Wellington, Florida. We are glad you joined us here as we'll be watching some great action coming up.
When my husband shows, when my husband shows is when it gets stressful. Mm-hmm. Just because I am
All right, folks, we'll ask you to ramp up the course walk now. The equipment's coming in to get us set up here for the $100,000 Kristen Baran Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Exhibition Stake Class. Quick introduction to your officials. First of all, the judiciary. Panel 1 consisting of Scott Williamson and Steve Heineke, Tony Scarlata and Jeff Gaines will be your panel 2. And panel 3, Jeff Ayers and Kim Williams. They're all overseeing this course constructed by Mr. Andreas Christensen. We've got Mr. Andrew Ellers at the gate. As always, our coordinator, Mr. J.P. Bordelot, and our manager is Mr. David Burton. You'll be listening to me. I'm Andrew Brown, and my partner here, Mr. Oliver Kennedy, Esteban Sarmiento, helping us out with the scoring. Again, head on out now, folks. Drag is coming in as we're ahead, 14 minutes ahead of our start time.
Again, the course is closed. We'll have you clear the ring. Tractors coming in, and we'll lead up to that start here. First horse in the ring at 7. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you here to the International Arena here at Wellington International. It is Friday night, and our new featured class again tonight will feature the Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Hunt Team Exhibition Class. 14 teams of 3 riders will be competing here tonight, each team consisting of a professional, amateur, and junior rider. The the teams will enter at once our class format. All 3 riders will enter the ring. They'll have 30 seconds to get acclimated to the arena. Then the junior and the amateur will go down to the holding pen. The professional rider will put in their round over this course designed by Andreas Christensen. 12 fences on the course tonight, and the format tonight a little different. First 4 jumps will be in a classic hunter style. Then they will show off the handiness of the horse, and they have an option. You see the wheel fence that is set here, and that can be jumped. 3 of those can be jumped in any directions. That would be fences 5, 6, and 7. Then number 8, they'll gallop. They'll come down to number 9. Then they'll go into the 3rd phase of our competition, the final 4 jumps in a classic hunter style of that round. So fences 1 through 4, that is classic hunter style. 5 through 8 would be the round here, and 5 through 9, the handy portion, and testing off, showing off the handiness of the horse. And then the final portion of the round would be 10, 11, 12 there as they come for the final fences in the competition. Again, and those judged in a classic hunter format. Panel 1 is sitting in front of the gallery, and that is the team of Scott Williamson and Steve Heineke. Panel 2 sits in front of Central Park, and that would be the team of Tony Scarlata and Jeff Case. And in front of the International Club is Panel 3, and that is Jeff Ayers and Kim Williams. Each team will throw a score. The 3 scores for each horse will be averaged. And each horse goes, they'll each receive a score for each team. The low score will be dropped, and the 2 average scores for the rounds will be added together for a total score. Highest scoring team will be the winner. If there's a tie-breaking situation, we'll update you with the standings at that point of the class. We are looking forward to a great evening of action. We want to thank our sponsors, Platinum sponsors Georgina Bloomberg and Pamela Walkenbach. Gold sponsors Jenny Oz, Leroy, and Golden Events. And the silver sponsors tonight, the Jacobs Family Foundation and Ovanda. Georgina Bloomberg and Jenny Oz, Leroy are our co-chairs of our evening's activity, and we all work for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County. They work to help youth of all backgrounds develop the qualities needed to become responsible citizens and leaders. The club offers daily access to a broad range of programs, skills, the arts, sports and fitness, and technology. And the Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club of Wellington currently serves 1,202 members. If you'd like to learn more about how you can get involved with the Boys and Girls Clubs, please visit them at bgcpbc.org. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like you to draw your attention down to the gate as we are going to welcome in our featured vocalist this evening, who joins us to perform America's #1 song. It is Zan Weiser, a New York City-based Broadway producer, cantor, and concert soloist. A former equestrian, she is thrilled to share her voice with you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd all rise and remove cover for Zan Weiser's rendition of America's #1 song, our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched,
Stand Weiser with our national anthem as we lead up to the first team. 14 teams will be showing here coming under the archway.
Good evening, everybody. This is Sissy Wicks with you from the Wellington International Field, sitting here with Aaron Ballard, the esteemed jumper and hunter rider, as we together watch the inaugural Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Hunt Team Exhibition. Quite a mouthful. This is a new class for everybody. It's the brainchild of Andrew Lustig, Jeff Teal, and Luis Serio. And it's a whole new atmosphere for the hunters. This is a fun night under the lights. It's a team competition. There are 14 teams tonight, each consisting of one professional, one amateur, and one junior rider. So what do you think, Aaron, of this new format?
Well, I'm so team-oriented in what I do, being a part of the Canadian equestrian team and the new North American Major League Tour.
15 seconds.
And I am super excited to see how this format works with the drop score. They've sort of incorporated some Nations
head down
Cup
to the holding area.
ideas, putting it towards the hunter rounds. It's going to be an interesting format because it's not a hunt and go.
It's not a hunt and go. So they have 10 jumps, I believe, and you have the first 4 are classic rounds, so normal hunter rounds. It's supposed to be kind of a stake round, so that means it's bold and forward. And then from 4 to 9 is supposed to be a handy phase. And then after 9, for the last 3 jumps, we go back to a classic hunter style jump. So again, an innovative format, trying something new here. Each team comes in, they have 15 seconds to hack around the ring. Then the teams, the amateur and the junior, go into a holding area where they will watch their professional, here we have Liza Tal, complete the course. And then the amateur goes, and then the junior goes last. Each rider receives scores from all 3 panels of 2 judges each, so 6 scores. Each panel will produce a score. So actually it will be 3 scores. They will be averaged. There is a drop score. So if something goes wrong and somebody has a low score, or if they're just good but a little low, that score will be dropped. It's, again, a new way to look at the hunter competition. It's fun under the lights, and certainly for a great cause here, the Boys and Girls Club.
And it's interesting that they are only getting 1 score. In any sort of derby situation we watch, we get bonus points, we get a hunter score and a handy score. It's going to be interesting to see what the judges are looking for with only 1 score giving, incorporating both hunter and classic and handy round in one.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting also to see that it's a bit of a pressure cooker out here. It's a big atmosphere, as it always is under the lights for our hunters, because we don't see rings like this, huge rings like this, lights. There's actually a hunt ball, a formal hunt ball. I see people in black tie and long dresses in the VIP.
First rider,
there's dancing later. So there's a lot of noise and a lot of atmosphere here. The VIP area is certainly having fun. And that is something that the horses feel, the riders feel, and it's quite an exciting atmosphere here tonight. Liza just completed her course, first horse on the course on day 1, who also does the junior hunters. So we'll see what kind of score she gets here.
And for me, it looks like a great lead off. Good for the junior and amateur to see her round. It's interesting that all of the horses stay in the ring at once. So the juniors ride last. They actually, for me, have the most pressure of standing and waiting and watching to ride last versus a Nations Cup where your strongest or your professional rider would normally be your anchor rider.
And as you know, some horses stand better than others. So that's a challenge as well, as the horses have to stand there. Again, lots of atmosphere. They have to watch this one horse compete, wait their turn, and then go out and do it.
And now also we're waiting for a score.
Yes. This is Amira Katana next. So she is the amateur representative on this team.
And the scores in for Liza Boyd. Panel 1 kicking it off with a 92 and 87 from panel 2. Panel 3 concurs with another 87, averaging out to 88.6 seconds.
So Liza got a 90 and a pair of
Amateur
87s.
rider on course, Karatina Hermount, the 17-year-old Holsteiner gelding.
Same course. There's an interesting element on this course of a wagon wheel. And they constitute jumps 5, 6, and 7. They're identical jumps set in the shape of a wagon wheel. And you have to jump 3 of them in any direction. You can't jump the same jump twice. But it gives quite an option to everybody of how much risk they want to take as part of the handy course. So we want to see something challenging. So how much risk do they want to take in going through that wagon wheel? One option is to do them 2 in a row as a 2-stride. The other option is just to kind of curl around and do rollbacks there. So we'll see a variety, a menu of different options there.
Right. When I was walking, everybody sort of gathered around the wagon wheel and they were planning their strategy. And for me, my take on it is if you were getting extra bonus points for handy, I think you could take a bigger risk.
Yes.
But I felt for tonight, your best round and your best jumps were going to give you your best score, so it was more suitable to do what your horse was better at. They were talking if your horse was right-handed, how you could do it where you showed off the right lead a little bit more and you didn't risk a mischange or a cross canter.
Exactly.
She did a more equitation, sort of very handy, stayed unrelated, basically to 4 jumps, which would have been 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Right.
So her track was quite different, and I think that she pulled off a beautiful round.
And she is a very accomplished equitation rider, so I think she'd be quite comfortable in that kind of flow that she did.
And that was their plan, because out of the 3, she has the most experience in the equitation.
Yes.
That she could do something a little bit more handy and still make it look hunter.
And it'd also be interesting to see if the professionals try to perform a much more intricate pattern there than the juniors, or if the juniors are going to be the more gutsy ones. I think it depends on what horse you're on. And Aaron, as you know, in both the hunter and jumper worlds, it's risk reward, right? How much risk do you take for the reward?
And anytime I've ever done a derby or a handy, in my mind, I'm always thinking,
on the scores
no
as they're
matter
coming
what,
in here for America.
I want the best hunter score I can get.
Right.
81.
Waiting on scores here. You can see Jack Tal at the in gate. You can hear his whoop from anywhere. We're just a little slow getting the scores in here. And here goes
and
Junior
the
Elboyd.
scores in for Americana and Karatina. Panel 1's got 86. 2 and 3 concurring with scores of 84, averaging out to 84.66.
So 86, 84, 84 for Amira. Daughter of Liza Elboyd, now in on her, I don't know
now
if this is her junior hunter or her equitation horse, but this is a great
Illusion
young rider.
Imperial Equipo from Good Einhaus LLC of Wellington, Florida. The 16-year-old Belgian-bred gelding with our junior rider, Elboyd.
I'd say he's good at both.
Yeah, there's the 7 strides there. Now she does the oxer, which is at the far end of the ring from the in gate. And then we start the wagon wheel, as we talked about. So that's jump 4. Now we have a 5, 6, 7 pattern that's up to the rider. So she's going to roll back. And now one more of this wagon wheel before she goes on to another oxer.
And she's making this a related line.
Right. So as Aaron was saying, one of the spokes of the wagon wheel actually aims right at jump 8, so it's a related distance. It's a straight line.
Not marked by any footage, so
correct. Yeah.
strides don't matter. She did a beautiful, lovely level 10.
He jumped up there, didn't he? All right, now that's the end of the handy, and now back to what they call the classic phase, or the stake part of it. 8 strides there.
And that's marked on the course as 112 feet, so
Yep.
they're looking for 8 strides.
She looks happy.
Elle Boyd wraps her ride up for our junior representative of our first team, and we'll await her scores.
So this team 1 is finished. Again, we have 14 teams. Mom gives her a big smile. That's pretty cool.
Even in the jumpers, it's not very often you see a mother-daughter combination riding on a team. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
how neat is that?
Do you ever see it?
I mean, Amy and Jonathan
Scores
Right.
and Ian have ridden on teams together in the past.
That's the Miller
85
family.
out of panel 1, panel 2 concurring at 85, and panel 3 with an 83, 84, 3-3. And so your team Boyd total score 173-33, with the drop score coming out there 173-33 for team Boyd.
So L was 85, 83, 83. And
we
there
dropped the
you see
junior
the score.
again, the 88.66 for the Pro Liza.
So in this team, the
amateur
junior
Amira,
score was the drop. We'll
84.66,
see how that
and the,
pattern
drop score was
continues,
Elle's
or
score
if
of
it continues
84.33 for 173.33.
throughout the competition.
And now let's meet the 3 riders
Pretty strong
comprising team
scores for
number
the first
2.
team out.
And
I'll
our
say.
Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S.
All right, so now they have 15
Team
seconds to flat
exhibition.
around.
Vivian Yowen.
They've
and
already
St.
hand
Glenn, the
walked in
professional
here, but it's a little
representative,
different when you
Caitlin
come in and
Porath Bro,
all
our
tacked
amateur
up and ready to
Chloe
go and
Carnes
schooled and warm,
Advent
and it's just a
are
different
the
atmosphere
juniors.
rather than being in there and hanging out with your friends. The pro, the first to go, is Vivian Yowen. Also an extremely accomplished equitation rider, so we'll see what she does with the 5, 6, 7 combination.
All right, our 30 seconds is up. We'll have the junior and the amateur to the holding area, and our professional rider Vivian Yowen will start off her round with Say When, 7-year-old warm blood gelding.
With so much more opportunity for hunters to be under the lights, you really start to see the horses coming out much more relaxed than maybe 5 or 6 years ago. All these horses trot around, their head down, look comfortable. Maybe they like being in the ring with other horses.
This one's 7 years old. That's interesting. That's great mind.
You're looking at 2810, 2810.
Whoops. Just a little long there. He wasn't quite sure. A little bobble off the ground. Again, 7 years old. If I had a horse that I was trying to get ready for next week, which is WCHR week, and there's the big Peter Weatherall Classic Saturday night under the light, I would probably do it tonight if I could.
Yeah, what a great opportunity.
It's very rare to get 2 chances to come in this ring. There was a hunt and go derby last week here, but that was not like this, not the atmosphere, not the lights. This horse is beautiful.
That's beautiful. And you can just see her experience and her composure. When number 2 didn't work out the way she wanted, she didn't change. You know, she's giving him the best round that he can have.
Yeah, just held his hand and kept going. He's got a great canter, doesn't he? Love it. And now to the last. Great experience for him. It's nice that
Vivian,
the
wrapping up their
the
effort here.
powers
The,
that be here at
scores
Wellington
in
International,
for
David
our
Burton and J.P.
first
Bordelot,
rider
has
for
put
Team
together
2,
this
the
evening for
professional.
the hunters, just to try to do something a little different. We're all kind of on the hamster wheel
And
doing the same thing
scores
year after
at
year, so this is
for
really
Vivian
fun.
Young. 70 from panel 1. Panel 2's at a 60. 65 from panel 3.
So
averaging out
70,
to
60,
a
65. So that presumably will be the drop score. Let's see.
4873.
Now we have Caitlin Porath on her longtime partner, Bro, for the amateur version of this.
And now we'll go to the amateur rider on the 17-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Bro. Here's Caitlin Porath, our next rider out for Team 2.
There we go, atmosphere.
And leaving your buddies.
Leaving your buddies, you're right. It's, I mean, not only standing still, but leaving your buddies. I've judged many a equitation class where they call horses out of the center, and they're like, no, not going.
But an equitation horse in this situation would have an advantage.
Would be used to it. Yep. This is a 100% hunter. And it's past dinner time, right? Let's see what Caitlin does with this. On her way to the first jump here.
So with the opportunity of a drop score, you could hypothetically have 2 very strong rounds and 1 round that isn't what you want it to be.
Correct.
And still win.
Yep. And it looks like he's taking a breath. Aaron, I think this must be part of the whole team competition mentality of maybe on another day, Caitlin would say, okay, I'm going to retire. My horse is not happy. But if you have a team depending on you, it's a whole different perspective, right?
It's a completely different game when you're riding for a team. And that's why I think the concept is so interesting. There's so many things about it that are different, like Liza and Elle riding together and feeling the pressure to finish your round.
Oh.
She's given up.
Yeah, he's getting a little
Alexa
more wound up
retire
instead of
within the
less
round
wound up.
for, Caitlin
And sometimes we have
Porath.
to make smart choices.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll send our junior rider out now. Junior rider
Bro's
is
looking quite
Chloe
proud of
Cairns
himself, isn't he?
on,
He's looking a little cheeky.
10-year-old Oldenburg gelding will be the next to see.
He will be back. It's a great horse. She's had an incredible amount of success on him. Now we have Chloe Cairns as the junior component.
2812, 2812.
So here we go, Chloe, be the anchor here.
Sometimes the hardest part about standing is creating that canter you want, especially to jump number 1.
Yes.
Jump number 1 really sets you up for the whole round. And if you're not used to sitting and being cold, and especially in the hunter round, as a jumper rider, you have the opportunity to kind of kick them up, go forward, stop, back them up before you get the tone.
And yeah, if you're preloading too, you have plenty of time to kind of trot around or
just
keep moving.
To be out there and to hold your concentration and be ready to go to jump 1. That's going to be something that riders in this format are going to have to learn and learn to be comfortable with.
Yeah, just because you're in a pen, you don't have to just stand still.
And also, as a junior rider, that sets you up for finals,
Exactly.
for testing. If you're the last to test and you have to watch the riders test before you, you have to be mentally prepared to wait a little bit longer. I like to go first. I don't like to sit and wait and go at the end of the class.
Yeah, you kind of want to make your plan, execute your plan, not second guess what everybody else is doing.
And knowing that you're the anchor rider and the score that you may or may not have to pull off to get a top placing in a team event like this.
Now, what team events in the jumper world have drop scores now? Because I know that's changed quite a bit over the last few years. Wow.
Your normal Nations Cups do. When we jump the Nations Cup here week 8 with your 4-rider format, they'll have a drop score. The Pan American Games have a drop score. Young riders have a drop score. It's just the Olympics that has gone to the new format.
Right. And do you think that would be a game changer in terms of who you take and how they
it's interesting
strategize?
Because you can take 4 riders and 3 riders can ride the team competition, and you can substitute a rider for the individual competition. So your rider, your 4 team members have the chance to compete. Whereas before, if you could send 5, once the event starts, only your 4 named riders can ride on the team.
Right.
So as a 4th rider going to the Olympics, you do have the opportunity to ride, to be a substitute either for the Nations Cup or for the individual.
And scores in panel 1 with 65, panel 2 with a 70, and panel 3 will concur, averaging out to 68.33. We're going to be dropping that amateur score. 133.33 will be the Team Yoan total.
I thought Chloe did a nice job going around there. There's a lot of pressure on her. Beautiful horse.
14 here in our Kristen
So
Baran
not their best night, but
Neil
again,
and
we will
Hirsch
see
family
these
boys and
horses and
girls
these
club
riders
hunt team
again.
exhibition class tonight.
And everybody's experiencing this for the first time.
Yes, I'm sure Chloe Cairns is, so good for her.
But the whole format, the whole event, the crowd, the judges, us, the riders, we're just trying to figure out what this class is.
Again, we want to thank our platinum sponsors, Georgina Bloomberg and Pamela Walkenbach. Jenny Osleroy and Golden Events, our gold sponsors, and our silver sponsor, Jacobs Family Foundation and Avando are the silver level sponsors. Our co-chairs, Georgina Bloomberg and Jenny Osleroy.
I love that this is for the benefit of the Boys and Girls Club, which is traditional. I mean, it's been here since the 70s, so it has a long tradition here, and it's helped thousands and thousands of underserved kids in Palm Beach County.
The club offers daily access to a broad range
and
of
it's
programs
literally right down the road
areas,
from the horse show. I think they have 20 centers now in Palm Beach County, but initially it was right down the road from the horse show.
Health and life skills, the arts, sports
Just
and
an
fitness,
incredible
and technology.
philanthropic
The Neil
movement.
S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club of Wellington currently serves 1,202 members. If you'd like to learn more about how you can get involved with the
I'm not
Boys
sure
and
what the
Girls Club,
holdup is with
please
the next
visit
team.
us at bgcpbc.org.
The next team is supposed to be Maria Rasmussen, Ashton Alexander, and Maya Grove.
Oh, we have a shoe, late shoe coming off of one of the entries on our next team, so we're scrambling back here in the backstage area, putting that shoe back on. Be back here with you in just a moment. Recapping our standings here, Liza Boyd, the first
Have
team
hunters
had
started to go
88.66
shoeless?
and 84.66.
We had a
And
hunter
they
this
dropped
year
to
sent to us
84.33
by
for
a jumper person
173.33. They're
who
our
asked
leader.
us to pull his shoes,
Team,
which
Yowan
we
had
did.
a 65,
And then we
a,
ended up
retire, and a
eventually
68.33
putting them back
for
on,
133.33.
because it was, I think it was
Next
hard
team
for
will
him to
be here with us
tolerate the
in
different
just a
footings. And,
moment, as,
but
teams
yeah,
are trying
I
to
don't know that it's
get
the
organized
trend
here
that
to
you're
move up
seeing.
if, needs be.
Certainly internationally that you're seeing. I do see it a lot in the U.S.
You're seeing it more and more.
Yeah.
I ride one horse that's shoeless, and he jumped the 140 last week, and I was thinking to myself, this is the only time I think I've competed in a high-level class
Yeah.
shoeless, but he likes it. It suits him. He goes great. He's comfortable, and you're starting to see more and more horses, whether it's because they're more comfortable or due to injury, or it's just the belief of the program. There's a lot of horses that don't go with shoes.
Yeah, I can see the benefit of it. I think it does depend on the horse and how much you can control his environment. So in the Northeast, our horses go out and it gets rocky and it gets hard and it gets baked, and I don't think that every horse can tolerate that.
Our team number 3 consisting of the pro rider Maria Rasmussen and
Here we
Worthy.
go.
Ashton Alexander, the amateur rider, in 21 questions, and Maya Grove, the junior rider and good fella. It's the clock running here on their 30 seconds.
Now, whoever is getting the shoe on, I'm sure, is a little nervous. Do we have 3 in the ring?
Yeah,
I just
all
saw
3
2.
are in.
All 3 in? Oh, good. There's Maria, with whom I walk the course, and she has a very ambitious approach to the wagon wheel, so we'll see if she actually does it. You can kind of make a plan and then improvise, right, Alan? Aaron, you can decide that, okay.
And we'll have our rider head to the
maybe
holding
I
area
won't
as
do
we,
the hardest
get
option.
underway. We'll see our
And
first
going
rider
early
up,
in the class
to,
probably has
kick it
less
off.
of a benefit to making those choices.
Yes.
Going later in the class gives you opportunity to see the scores, what's being rewarded, what isn't being
So our
rewarded.
first rider is Maria
Maybe see
Rasmussen
someone else do
aboard
it.
Yeah.
Worthy
Yeah.
to start us off.
If you're judging and you
Sunset
only have one
ULC
score,
entry, Worthy and
how
Maria
much
Rasmussen.
do you add to the score if you have something that is far more handy?
Well, it depends, right? I mean, in this case, it's what, 4 handy jumps? So
It's really the wagon wheel.
yeah, you'd kind of throw a couple points at it. I would. Certainly, the rest of it has to be above average, but you definitely reward it. I mean, they made it that portion a handy portion for a reason, and if the rider is taking a risk and they get it done, I like to reward it. So, what, a handful of points, 4 or 5 points? I would. But also keep in mind that it has to be smooth as silk as you do it. I mean, riders that take big chances, for me personally, this is just my opinion, in the handy and end up having to yank on the horse, or it looks rough. Okay, maybe they did it, they used less space doing it, they made a tighter turn than everybody else, but the point is it should look seamless. Oh, here we go. This is what she was talking about. She did it. Look at that.
Nice.
Inside, inside. She said this horse is just can do anything. Is so used to turning. So. And the interesting thing too is, let's see who emulates that. She's kind of raised the bar on that particular element here. She and this horse have had incredible success. They fit each other like a hand in a glove.
I mean, so much of this is partnership too.
Yep. She was walking it with Maya, and Maya said, "Well, I'm not doing that." And she said, "No, you're not doing that."
That was pretty.
That was great.
Really well done.
I
A
think
Worthy finishing
I
up
hope
the
that's a
efforts,
big score.
13-year-old Holsteiner gelding under the guidance of pro rider Maria Rasmussen.
if anybody has any questions for Aaron or for me, you can shoot me a message on Instagram. Sissy Wicks,
And the score is in
W-I-C-K-E-S.
for Maria Rasmussen, 84 from panel 1, 86 panel 2, 85 panel 3, easy average, out to an 85 there.
As a judge, do you like to take
Junior
your hunter
rider
score
Maya
and add
Grove
your
will
bonus
step
points?
up here. This
Or
is
do you
the
prefer
rider
just to
on
give one
Goodfella,
score?
number 3202.
Well, I think your overall opinion of the round, you add those points in your mind.
Okay.
It's really a judgment of the entire performance, but in this particular situation where there's, again, a segment of a course that's supposed to be handy, I would like to see it be handy. I would like to see a change of speed. I would like to see a challenge.
And then reward your score accordingly.
Exactly. So she's going to roll back to 6. And then I think turn left to 7. Yeah.
And then she does that long related
Exactly.
or
Yep.
unrelated curving line.
This is a sweet horse, isn't he?
Yeah. I think whether you're riding a hunter or a jumper, the canter is so important. And as a rider, your feel for the canter
Yes.
is so important to make it look smooth and make it stay connected. And it looks like she obviously knows this horse very well. And they work very well together.
They trust, yeah.
Yeah, she created a canter from the beginning and stuck with it the whole time. Everything for me made sense there.
Yeah, I think she'll be thrilled with that.
The scores in 82, 83, and an 80 for an
Solid scores.
6-6.
38-63.
Now we'll go with 21 questions from Brookside Pines Farms, Conroe, Texas. Ashton Alexander, amateur rider in the irons.
So they switched these two ostensibly because of the shoe issue.
Ashton on the 7-year-old.
So now we have the
Danish
amateur going
warm blood
second.
gelding.
Or third, sorry, instead of second. Aaron, do you have any hunters in your string right now? I haven't seen you at the hunter ring this year.
I haven't competed in the hunter since 2020.
Oh, really? Oh, we have to change that.
I have been doing some warm-ups. Alon has a Derby horse that we sold to
So you
Canada.
ride for Ilan Furter.
Yeah, for 7 years now. And actually, I got to do some warm-ups with him after he got sold, just to kind of teach him how to be a hunter, and I had the most fun.
Well, I think we need to lure you back here.
But I appreciate so much what riding a hunter is and what it is for timing and smoothness, and like I said, creating that canter and that connection with your horse.
Oh, look at that.
Ow,
she did it too. Oh.
She went handy.
Yeah, so those are, if you do it as a bending, there are 2 strides in between both. That surprised me. I didn't know that was in the cards there. Very ambitious. I thought he handled that really well.
Yeah.
So do you think that jumper riding helps hunter riding more than hunter riding helps jumper rider?
I think it is incredibly hard to be very good at both at the same time because of timing and distance and pressure off the ground. More than once, I'll get to a big jump in good speed and I'll take my leg off, because that's what I would do on a hunter. Just to slow the jump down a little, and you slow the jump down too much. So at a big vertical, learning to keep the pressure on off the ground is something that took me a while to get very good at, and it's very easy for me to go back to what I know.
Back. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
But little things. I was a hunter rider for a lot longer than I've been an upper level jumper rider.
Right.
And I love it. I love the hunters. I love the horses. I love the skills that it takes. But I also wouldn't change what I do for anything.
Right.
But I like that I have the skill to be able to do both. And that I can appreciate watching this and watching great horses and good riders. And I just enjoy the sport from all levels.
And you never know what path you're on, right? I mean, none of us do. So there might come a time where you think, okay, I'm going to just veer back into the hunter world a little bit and
And the
Stop riding
scores
these
in
meter 60
55.5
courses.
off panel 1.
Stop going
Panel
so
2 at
fast.
61 and panel 3 for 85. The average 77.
You saw some real
1
discrepancy in
We're gonna
scores
have a
there, and that can
team
happen
res
depending
music
on your
score of
perspective. I think we had
166,
85, 61, and
66, with the
85,
top
which is
score
interesting.
off the amateur, finding a place at second in the rankings.
There's a fellow Canadian, Aaron.
Yeah, we do have a few Canadians
here comes,
out here.
Team number 4.
Brady
it
Mitchell.
is Canadian professional rider Brady Mitchell. On Cornette's edition, Ashley Hodges and Nanook out of North Carolina, and Chloe Tanner, the junior rider, on Heartbeat Z.
I know that Brady has great hopes for this horse as a Derby horse, so I think he's probably aiming for next week and thrilled that he's able to get into this atmosphere tonight.
It's just great opportunity.
Yep. Period. Yeah, exactly.
It's
No
great
matter what you're
opportunity.
aiming toward. Yeah, good point.
It's great for the horses. It's great for the sport. It's great for the
5
riders.
seconds, riders, the junior and amateur head to the holding area. And our professional rider will kick things off here for team number 4. It is professional Brady Mitchell and Cornette's edition on the Rain Family LLC.
We talked a little bit about it earlier, about maybe a team event like this becoming something that was across the country, and you know, how can this evolve into something that's more than just a one night.
8-year-old
Which
Hanoverian
obviously
gelding by
exists
Cornette
in
Obolensky,
the
Cornette's
jumper
edition,
world,
and Brady Mitchell.
globally and nationally.
Yeah, the first we saw of it was Global Champions Tour.
Yep.
And now we have the Major League, which is North American based, and I'm a huge supporter and a big fan of. And then we could have a hunter team circuit.
I think that would be so much fun. And it also gets people together. I mean, the juniors and amateurs you see a lot of these don't ride with this professional. So they're just, it's teams from people who want to do this and maybe know each other peripherally, but it's just great community building, I think.
And the one thing about the Major League, it offers us opportunity to show in different places. Wouldn't it be fun to have a group of hunters that traveled across the country, showing and showcasing an event like this at more than one horse show, maybe a tour of 8 or 10 shows through the year with a final?
The problem, I love the idea. The problem I see with that is splitting your string, as it were. So if you have a barn of 20 horses, let's pick a number that you take on the road, how do you then split off 5 team members to go somewhere else? I think that's difficult. Not that it can't be done. I just think it takes rethinking of the way we do things. You know, we take our 20 or 30 or 40 horse barn or 10 or whatever it is to whatever circuit we decide to do, and how do you then split off and go to
You take
Las
everything
Vegas?
with you.
Well, some people can't do that. It's a little different than the high-level jumpers. That was beautiful.
That was pretty. The horse has great expression.
Yeah.
It loves what it's doing. It's looking for the next jump.
Makes it look easy, doesn't he, that horse? It's just lovely.
Fun. They're both having fun.
And the Brady Mitchell scores of panel 1 starting off with 88. Panel 2 concurs. Panel 3 is at 86. The average out an 87.
Solid, nice scores.
Now we'll see amateur rider Ashley Hodges from North Carolina on the 9-year-old Royal Dutch Warm Blood gelding Nanook. Ashley Hodges, amateur rider, shows next for team number 4.
Solid horse, isn't he?
I think a big test of number 2 is that you're cantering away from the pen where the other horses are standing.
I do too.
You could see he just got a little caught up in that turn. Was a little hesitant to turn away from the other two horses.
Having never done it before. So here we have a class question on Instagram. Is this a new class for WEF this year? Do you need to qualify for this class? Can you just enter it? You need to have completed a class of at least 3-3 or higher to enter this class, and you have to put together a team, but the barrier of entry was very low. A lot of people are really excited to do it, so we have 42 rounds, 14 teams. And maybe it'll grow, and maybe the qualifying part of it will become more stringent, but for now it was, I think, very user-friendly. A little rub there. And as I said, there is a hunt ball in the VIP lounge across from us, so there are people in tuxedos and long dresses, and it's a little different look than what we usually see here on the weekends. And apparently there's going to be dancing and dinner and lots of revelry, so
it's making it formal, something a little bit classic.
Yeah, I haven't been to a hunt ball in a while, but I remember everybody being dressed up and raucous, so we'll see what happens here tonight. This horse has kind of a metronome of a canter, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's too bad.
So again, if you have any questions, send them to me on Instagram or to Erin, Sissy Wicks, Erin Ballard.
And unfortunately, with the Holton forward motion there, 3 40s, averaging out to a 40 there.
So hopefully that's the drop score. We'll see Chloe come in. Chloe Tanner.
Now we'll see Chloe Tanner, the junior rider on Heartbeat Zed, a 15-year-old Zangerscheid gelding.
So older horse.
It's so diverse. We've seen a 7-year-old,
Yeah.
and I think we've had a 16-year-old.
And I think Brady's horse is, I know he's just new to this country, the gray horse that just went, so I think he's probably doing the 3'6" greens, but he's a newbie at this. Come on, buddy. There he goes. This horse looks like he could do equitation, hunters, the whole 9 yards, right? Oops, little bobble there. Didn't bother him in the least. Off he goes. Erin, are you doing a big Grand Prix here tomorrow night for the big Saturday night jumper nights?
Tomorrow is the first 5-star of the season. I think the jumps are going to look a bit different than they do tonight. It's actually the course designer this week is the Olympic course designer.
Oh.
So that's a great opportunity for us to sort of understand his style and get a little taste of what we're going to expect to see in Paris this summer.
That's amazing. So explain the star system. So a 2-star just delineates what the height is. I know there's a 2-star this week as well.
Yeah, it's height and money.
Okay.
So the height tomorrow is 160, and it's a double A. So a double A offers, I think it starts at 325,000.
Wow.
Or more. A single A is one level lower than that in the prize money. And a 2-star is limited to 145. So because there's so many riders here and it becomes so complicated to get
And the scores
into
from
these
the
classes,
junior, 60 points
David
for
and his
panel
crew
one,
has
panel
offered,
two at
when it's a
50,
4-star
panel
week and a
three at
5-star
60,
week,
average
also
out
a
for
2-star.
56,
We're giving
6,
opportunity
and
for
team
younger
measure
kids
is a
and younger
total
horses
score
to not have to jump so
144.
big all the time, to be able to compete in the 2-star. And some
Well, as
shows
Team
throughout
4
the year
heads
you can
out,
cross
let's,
enter,
give a welcome
where I could
to
be
our
in
next
both the
team, Dork.
2-star
It is
and the
team number
5-star.
5.
But for here, they limit the entries. So
There
you
are
have to pick
so
one.
many
They are
jumpers,
trying to
right?
catch
Oh
that
my
high
gosh,
team
let me,
total of 173.33
you fill
for
the-
Team Liza Boyd.
those classes, you fill the 140 so much that they have to
And
offer,
here comes the
they
team
have to split the
of
class on the same
True
day. I mean,
Cassini
it's
and
just
professional
amazing
rider
to me how many
Michael
jumpers there are
Britleo.
here.
The sport
Georgia,
is amazing.
Kelly Sims
Yeah.
and
I went in
amateur
the
rider
145 on
Private Eye,
Wednesday,
and the
and I
junior
went
rider Madison
as fast as I
Peace
felt
on
like
the
I could go.
MF
and I was
Starboy.
11th.
Oh
It
my
is
gosh.
team number 5.
It was so fast.
It's incredible.
It's real sport. You can't take any ribbon you get here for granted at any level.
So you're going to see what, 1.50 m, 1.60 m tomorrow night?
Tomorrow's going to be 1.60 m.
Oy.
If the first jump is 1.55 m, I'll be happy.
Wow. And what horse are you riding?
I'm riding a
About
horse named
12
Libido.
seconds, and our
His name is
junior
Libido?
navigator
Yeah.
is Christine Baran holding there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's newer for me. We just, my first show on him last year was
And we'll send
Greenwich.
our junior and amateur to the holding area. Michael
So the
Britleo,
big-
our
what is that, a
professional rider
2-star in
on
Greenwich? Is it
True
a 5-star?
Cassini,
That was a
11-year-old
major league.
Oldenburg
Oh, a
gelding.
major league?
Yeah.
There we
He'll
go.
be
Yeah,
our
that was a
first
major
runner-up
league.
For team number 5, the
A new
Pathfinder,
show
Michael Britleo.
hosted by Kent Farrington
Right.
and his team.
Right.
And that's the one thing that the Major League is doing for the sport is it's giving us new venues and different opportunity. More boutique shows like you would see in Europe.
Right. Smaller shows that are in interesting locations.
Yeah. Or incorporated into bigger shows.
Here's Michael Britleo, very accomplished hunter rider, kind of a derby specialist. I saw him show this horse earlier this week and he was pretty flawless.
Cassinis are known to jump in such good style. I'm assuming giving his name that
Yes,
his breeding is
I
Cassini.
think that's safe. That's a safe bet.
Yeah. Very often they're gray and their knees are always very good.
Oh, look at that. He
Oh,
did the
he took a
two.
risk,
That
yeah.
was sweet. And then right around. I like that. Again, kind of a specialist here for the derbies and the handies.
Yeah. Showing off what he does best.
Yeah, he always has a nice string of horses. A little bold there. Oh, cross canter. I think he was a little late to that and the horse just landed off balance. Took a shot though.
Yeah, that's the hard part about incorporating the hunter and the handy and then back to your classical hunter round.
Yeah, it's like switching modes on your camera. Slow, 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 and then fast shutter speed, and then slow, slow, slow. Boy, this horse jumps nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have Kelly Sims, who's, they're just asking him to trot at the end for soundness. The amateur here is Kelly Sims, who has been a business partner with Michael for a long time, owns the quite famous Private Eye.
I think it's really fun when you're a professional and you get to develop a hunter and then you give it to the student or the owner or the amateur and the horse gets to stay in your barn.
Absolutely.
Mr. Britleo scores are in panel 1 at 69, and then scores 75 and 78. The average for the professional, 74.
And here is Private Eye himself.
Yeah.
Now we'll go to the amateur rider. It is Kelly Sims. And Kelly is on the 12-year-old Oldenburg gelding Private Eye. Her long time out of Georgia. Kelly Sims and Private Eye.
This horse has quite a resume, quite a successful career. always tries, always pleasant. Look at the look on his face. Rubber snaffle. I'm a huge fan. A little bobble with the canter there. And look, there he's a little caught by the gate too, by his buddies.
Yeah, I think 1 and 2 when you're sending in the pen is really something as a rider that you have to be aware of, and you almost have to make up for it. Maybe in your opening circle, just be slightly above the pace so you know you have that gear, and then you can tone it down.
And then chirp to him a little bit when he goes to 2, like you know, when you go past your friends at 1.
Yeah. It certainly is adding something that we're not used to seeing.
Yes.
And that the riders aren't used to feeling. You know, you walk in from your warm-up and you're motivated and you're forward and you're in gear, and then it's like you hit pause.
Yeah, and the horse is used to a certain routine, so if you're interrupting the routine, you have to compensate for it. Ooh, it's the same jump that Michael had a bobble on. Somehow that 8 gets long, doesn't it?
I walked a 9 there.
Oh, well, he saw that. Private Eye saw that. Well, so far, the first group is winning, I believe, right?
They really nailed it.
They did.
Yeah, they really did. And sometimes there is an advantage to going first. You walk the course, you get on, you go, you're focused. I would prefer to go early than late.
And also it's the idea of, okay, they have to catch me.
Yeah.
I nailed it. Let them sweat it.
Scores in from the amateur. Kelly's 68 out of panel 1. Panel 2 at 67. Panel 3 is 69. The amateur contributes a 6.8 off the average.
Here's junior rider Madison Keese on MF Starboy.
So this is a Britley-owned group, all 3 of them.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Out of Alpharetta, Georgia, Madison Keese, the junior rider on MF Starboy, number 3865.
Horse's coat looks incredible.
All these horses are beautifully turned out.
I judged the grooms class today, the hunter portion of the grooms class, and it was impressive. It was really hard to pick the top 8.
I don't know if you noticed, but when she left the box and she trotted out with a mission. It's the first horse I've really seen. We don't have a full view.
Right.
But I don't know what Michael's saying to them in that pen, but I think that was something along the lines of, get going.
Get going.
Get going out there.
That was nice.
Yeah. We looked at this option when we were walking. And this way it makes the oxer a single oxer less related. So that you're riding 4 single jumps.
Wow, she nailed that, didn't she?
With a little hand gallop.
Really a nice ride. I don't know this kid, but what a nice ride. Woof. Everybody jumps up there. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're a little surprised by it. It's a beautiful jump. The other side is a wonderful array of pink flowers, and they all seem to jump up there.
Getting some good air.
Yeah, good air time.
And she came home in 7.
Wow.
So it's interesting because on the course chart that's marked as 112 feet.
Yeah,
so
which is 8. He didn't struggle though, did he? And she went inside, so that's quite a horse. We'll see what the judges do with that.
Yeah.
You don't often see them leave out strides
And
and look
unfortunately,
organized.
the rail down there scores.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
see
we
the
missed a
round.
round.
Yeah.
Pair of 45s,
We missed the
averaging
round.
out 45.
We'll never know what they thought of that.
No.
That'll be your drop score out of the group, and Team MBL end up with a total 142.
High score is still from Team 1, Eliza Boyd, Amira Ketna, and Elle Boyd of a 173.33. And now let's welcome in team number 6. He is the team led up by professional rider Nicholas Pongrass and Lilut, Sam Beater, the amateur rider, and Dayglow, and Zara Humian and Cardinal, the junior rider.
This is another Canadian professional.
Oh, that's right. He is Canadian.
Yeah.
A lot of Canadians.
Yeah. Good representation
Yeah.
here.
I've always wanted to judge the Royal. It's on my bucket list. Because I think the hunters there are probably what you want to see up there, right?
I mean, it's the best show
In the world?
in the world. And
How many times have you shown there?
I showed the first time in
And
1988.
the junior and amateur riders should head down to the holding area.
What's the whole name? The
and,
Royal Winter Fair? Is that
Nicholas
what it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah.
Pongrass,
The
our
Royal
professional
Agricultural
rider, will
Winter
start
Fair.
on
There we
team
go.
number
Because it's a
6's
whole
work
fair.
here in the
There's
People
Yeah.
still get
Cows.
dressed up, and it's
Nicholas
Yeah.
Pongrass.
I was
Farm
mentioning
lines off here
that Kristen
for
Baran, the
team
title
number
sponsor
6.
of this, is Canadian.
right.
And
From
she would
Clear
have the
for Takeoff
experience of being
LLC
at the
out of
Royal, which is
Minnetonka,
very
Illinois,
black tie.
with,
Yeah.
that
So
professional
we're bringing
rider
a little bit of the
Nicholas
Royal to
Pongrass.
Wellington.
Oh, isn't that great? I love that.
There's big derby nights there, but up until COVID, I had never missed a Royal in my life.
Well, put in a good word for me, Aaron. I want to go judge it. What else do they have other than horses? You said it's a whole fair. What else?
Everything. They have cows, they have sheeps, they have
They have the wagons like driving.
Yep.
Wow.
they've got the 6-horse hitch, they've got
Right.
line classes. They have dressage, but it's also like a agricultural fair, so they have like butter carving stations and maple syrup stands. It's
I
very
love it.
Canadian. But a pretty big deal.
All right. Well, definitely on my bucket list. This horse is having a nice round.
Yeah. So it looks like a younger horse given how dark it is.
I was just going to say, judging by his color or her color. Nick works with Ivan Rakowski.
so nice to see young professionals given opportunity.
Especially Canadian young professionals.
Any young professional, but
Yeah.
I'm always cheering for the Canadians.
Well, he's doing a great job tonight.
It's going to be some good pictures from tonight.
That was lovely. All right, this looks promising. All right, let's see what we get here.
And the professional score, Mr. Pongrax receiving 83 points from the first battle, 77 from the second, and 84 from the third. The average out is 81.33.
Now we have Sam. You say that beater?
And Beater and Dayglow are the next to go. Reno Lally,'s entry. 13-year-old Dutch bred gelding.
I've seen this horse with Alex in some derbies.
Yes.
Alex Granato's
Alex
the trainer,
Granado. Yep, the trainer.
and the style is amazing. Its technique is pretty spectacular.
Just got his eye off that a little bit, but oh, again. A lot of atmosphere. Looking back at his buddies.
You don't see too many hunters stick their tongues out. Is that something that...
You know, I was sitting... Oh, he's just getting a little strong to the gate. I was sitting with Jimmy Lee judging, one of the iconic hunter trainers, riders, and judges of our business.
That was a pretty jump.
And I said to him, does that offend you when the horse sticks his tongue out like that? You know, some horses stick their tongue out the side. It's not that they're mouthing the bit, they just stick their tongue out the side. And he said, it doesn't make him jump any better, does it? I said, no. And he said, well, then why does it bother you?
That's a true horseman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a true horseman.
If
Thinking
he is
about the
anything,
jump.
he is 100% a true horseman.
Yeah.
But it was a great answer to that question, and so I've kind of gone by that since then. It's one thing if they're mouthing at the bit and their tongue's out and their mouth is open and, you know, they're doing whatever,
and
sort of disobedience or discomfort.
64,
but if they just have that funny habit,
and 66, the average out,
that's a different situation. Now
Watching
we
the
have
round next, Zara
Humayun.
Humyan, the junior rider, is aboard the 14-year-old Dutch-bred gelding Cardinal. Trying to bump up the scores here. Again, Nick with a score of 81.33, Sam with a 64.33, and Zara and Cardinal trying to pump up a big score here to try and prop up the efforts here from Team 6.
And we were talking about it earlier. A big score can be a game changer, especially when you have the drop score.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it opens it up.
Yeah.
I think the juniors have done so well tonight because I promise you most of these have not ridden in this situation. Under the lights, huge field, at night.
On a team.
Part of a team. In a holding pen, you know. So I give them a lot of credit. This kid is very composed. Look at that, she got it.
Yeah.
Got that turn.
New for us this year is the electronic scoreboard around the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the horses don't seem to notice.
So in this particular venue, for those that are listening, there's a jumbotron of this international ring all day. So whoever's in the ring, the riders that are in the international warm-up, the jumper riders can watch whoever's on course. And it looks like this, but it's on a huge jumbotron. And that faces two schooling areas, two hunter schooling areas. And our hunters sometimes just stand there like frozen like deer in headlights. They cannot believe that they're seeing this huge jumbotron. So it absolutely bothers some of our horses. I think yours are probably more used to it.
I think that they've grown up with it. Those horses have had exposure to it their whole careers. Some of them notice it more than others. But you'll for sure have one that doesn't want to go in the corner.
Oh, yeah. But you kind of wonder, are they seeing something like themselves, or are they seeing a bunch of shapes that just look weird to them?
Something moving.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when a horse looks in the mirror, do they know they're looking at themselves?
I think they do. Haven't you had ones that go up and nicker at themselves?
But do they think they're nickering at another horse, or do they think they're nickering at themselves?
At another horse. I think.
Yeah.
Average score. The
we could call the psychic. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yes.
You have?
Oh, yes.
Do you have one psychic that you use?
No.
No. Are you embarrassed that you've done this?
Welcoming in Team 7, the professional rider Stephen
What
Gregorio
items are you,
on
or what
Wednesday,
questions are you
50
asking? What
Hannah
items
Bernie
you addressing?
Honestly, I think a lot of those things, if you're
12th.
doing it for more than just entertainment, there's
The,
probably
11-year-old
something that you
warm-blood
don't
gelding
want to
and
know.
junior rider Elodie
If you're
Watrous
calling the
on
psychic
Caper
for
Trail, a 12-year-old
performance-related
warm-blood
issues,
gelding.
you probably don't want to know the reason.
Clock
Yeah.
is running on your 30
But I did call a
seconds.
psychic when my dog was missing, and they found her.
No, they didn't.
They did. And I've
No.
referred her to other people in the area.
What did she say? Where was she?
She was in England, and I kept her up all night because my dog was gone for 4.5 hours.
No, I mean, where was the dog?
Well, the psychic told the dog to go home, and the dog went home.
Oh my God.
So I believed 100% that
So this is an English psychic.
she was in England, and I was in Wellington.
And we'll have the
How did you get her name?
and
How'd
the
you know
junior
how to
head
find
to
her?
the holding box, starting
I
us
think
off
the
on
same
the
way that I've
rider
given her number to other
14-7,
people.
Stephen
That was just-
Gregorio and Ledgway.
Out of desperation.
Okay, I'm way too fascinated with this. I could talk about this too much. Here's Stephen Gregorio, who rides and has a
Ledgway
works for
from
Bill
Marigot
Schaub.
Bay Farm out of Wellington. Stephen Gregorio on the 15-year-old Hanoverian gelding.
Very accomplished
Wow.
young professional. And a super nice person, I might add. Okay, so we're halfway through, and the first group is still winning by quite a bit.
That was a pretty jump. This horse is a good jumper.
Super nice so far.
A lot of these horses look like they really like their jobs. So if you walk the course to this combination, there was actually an option of an inside turn. But on the backside of that pink oxer, the hunter face starts again.
Right, so there's no point
So
in doing
you
that.
haven't seen
Yeah,
anybody even look for it.
I saw that too. That was great.
That
What
was
a
a
nice
beautiful
ride.
round.
You know, it's so hard to source nice hunters right now. It's always a challenge to find the good young ones and preferably find them over here and eliminate all of the having to import them and do all of that. It's, you know, I think difficult. But it's not something that is easily done.
And the score
Hence
is
the
coming
price of
in
them.
as
I know in
Steve
Canada
Gregorio,
we
setting
had
the bar for
W.
his
Charlotte
team,
Farm who had
87
Cabardino who
from Panama 1, 86
specifically
and a
bred
half,
for
and
hunters.
83, the average
Do you
out,
find that there's many American
85.5.
breeders that are focusing on hunter
Here's
breeding for
amateur
the
rider
sport?
For Team 7,
I
Madison
do. I
Arani
think they
and
are
Vicky
trying.
Well
I don't.
on the 11-year-old warm
I mean, I will be vilified for saying this. I don't think that they're as successful as they would hope to be right now, but I think it's something that they're aiming toward, and there's some really good people addressing American bred hunters and trying to promote them and trying to produce them here. And I think we should. Again, it's a very expensive endeavor to go to Europe and buy horses. So again, it kind of increases the price of our sport if you want to be competing at this level. And we certainly do a great job producing other breeds of horses, thoroughbreds and Arabians and saddle horses and paints and, you know, all the things you want to talk about. So we should be able to do this here. And I think we're a little behind it, but I also, yes, I believe it's being addressed.
Do you think that the expense of developing a young horse here to be a breeder in North America changes.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the things that stymies it. It's just so expensive to keep them.
It's a factor.
Yeah.
Because you can buy a 6-year-old in Europe
And leave it there.
or you start to pay for it when it's 6.
Yeah.
Versus breeding one here and having to pay for it until it's 6 for somebody to buy it.
Yeah, and it's just so hard. I don't care where you live, and it's certainly the scale changes depending on where you live and what you're doing with it. But it's just the cost of hay is incredible. Land, labor. I mean, you can go on and on with it. So, and I know many people, as do you, that do buy young horses over there and just leave them. Because they can do it for half the price. And I mean, I'm not an economist, so I don't know how to address that, but I would think if, like anything else with economics, if you increase supply, then the price goes down. So I hope people out there are trying to breed them and trying to promote them in a way that makes sense financially, because we need them.
66 off of Final 1, Final 2 at 65. And then a 74 for a 68.
So Madison Arani just finishing. And her scores average in the 60s, so we'll see what Elodie can do here as the anchor.
Now it's Elodie Watrous, the junior rider on the team out of Wilmette, Illinois, on Paper Trail, a 12-year-old warm blood gelding.
Okay, now we're talking about her getting going here a little bit, right?
Just a little slow to start.
Yeah. This horse is a great type for this ring.
I couldn't tell if he swapped there from the angle that we're on.
I don't think so, but I wasn't really.
I know as a trainer, I would be
for that.
standing at the in-gate saying,
Did he swap? Did he swap? Yeah.
No, but I would be saying jump one is the most important jump on the course.
I see. Yeah. I'd be standing at the inner gate
yeah.
and say, asking anybody I didn't know, did he swap?
It's hard to see. We see that different line, or
Yeah.
that line from different angles, almost every other horse.
Exactly.
Sometimes we see it from the top, and sometimes we're seeing it from behind.
That was a good turn.
Yeah. Elodie has some jumpers. She bought one from us, and I've been competing it, but I also follow her, so I know this afternoon she was in this ring in the medium juniors. So
Well, that helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
How nice to prepare for a class like this by showing in the same ring multiple times a day.
You know, she didn't have the handiest of wagon wheels, but boy, she executed and played it safe, and I think it was beautiful. Yeah, I would think being in here more than just right now is a huge benefit.
Yeah, huge advantage.
Very nice. That was great. The horse jumped really well.
Sounds like there's some cheering.
Yep, big smile from her. That's what we want. All right, let's see.
That's my favorite part.
This might be a contender. So they would drop Madison's score.
Yeah.
Let's see where we end up. I think this is going to slide into second.
And Elodie Watrous as the closer for Team Gregorio, getting 83.5, 85.5, and 83. 84 will be your junior average. We will drop the amateur score. Team Gregorio going into second right now with a 169.5.
Welcoming in Team 8, they're trying to catch Eliza Boyd's team. Team 1, they had a 173.33. The first rider in, it is the rider from Catherine Newman, the professional on Dandelion, the 18-year-old Dutch mare. Cassie Warren, the amateur on MTM Casablanca, 16-year-old warm blood mare. And Georgia Jacob, the junior, On Wyatt, a 9-year-old warm blood gelding. Team 8.
This is a great team. Dandelion has a very long list of accomplishments. She now is, she's been around for a while. I'm not sure how old she is, but Catherine just got her back from Elise, and she's thrilled to show her here tonight, and we're certainly thrilled to see her.
They said she was 18.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Wow. That makes me feel old. I remember when she was a green horse. Cassie Warren, a very successful amateur, and Georgia Jacob on Wyatt, who might be one of my favorite horses on the showgrounds. Beautiful, beautiful
We'll have
jumper.
our junior and amateur riders
So
head
I'm
to the
excited for this
holding area.
team.
What a partnership with Catherine and Dandelion.
Oh my gosh, right?
8, Catherine Newman,
Like a member of the family. I'm
18-year-old
thrilled to see her
Desperate
ride her
Bear,
tonight.
Dan
I don't think I've
Delight.
seen her ride her in, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years, a long time. She brought this horse from
Owned by
a
Alwyn
youngster
Court and the
all the way
Dandelion
up,
Group out of
won
Wellington.
everything.
Catherine Newman aboard. Dandelion, our professional for Team 8.
But it's like being out there with your best friend.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a better feeling in the whole world.
Small but mighty, this mare. I was talking to her parents when I was walking, and they said they were thrilled to be able to get her back and do this, have some fun with her before she goes off to her next assignment, Dandelion's next assignment.
Maybe she'll make some babies. And in 6 years we can be
Eventually.
watching them.
Yeah, exactly. That was beautiful.
So fun. And do you believe like programs like the incentive are helping?
100%. I love that program.
She
Oops,
got a little sharp.
wobbly there. Yeah. I love the Green Hunter Incentive Program. I love the nationals, the regional element of it. I think it's encouraging for owners to have a green horse and to aim it to some final, whether, again, it's a regional final or a national final. I find that the owners that I'm involved with look forward to it.
And there's incentive for North American breeders?
There is. There absolutely is. John Barker had a American bred horse that not only won just in the open
That was
divisions,
handy.
but
That was really handy.
but also won all the American bred stuff. So it's kind of like pony finals. There's lots of awards for lots of different things.
Is that the one that Emil bred?
Yes.
Cool. I know he loves the breeding.
Yeah, Redfield has a great breeding program right now
Yeah.
in Ocala. Oh, I love seeing this mare. Again, they all jump the pink flowers. They love it.
She's really jumping.
Yeah. She rode that out just masterfully. Got to the inside and just loped that 8. That was lovely. Good girl, Dandelion.
Second jump looked like she just got a bit careful.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
almost looked past it to the next one and looked like she just got a little unsure off the ground. Again, not machines. Aw, that's nice to see. And now we have Cassie Warren next.
Catherine Newman on the kickoff with the professional scores of 77 from panel 1. Panel 2 is 74. Panel 3 with an 86. And her average is going to be 79.
I think that just depends on where you're sitting
Absolutely.
and how you see it.
Yep, we saw it coming right at us.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would look like from another angle. I always have to use that disclaimer when I'm doing the commentary because
Cassie Warren, the amateur rider,
we
is
don't see
in
what they're
on
seeing, so
MTM Casablanca.
everybody has to keep that in
16-year-old
mind and
warm
not
blood
let their
mare
head
owned by
explode at
Cassie
the
out of
scores.
Buchanan, Connecticut.
I think if people in general understood how different it is to sit in the judge's booth and see what you see and evaluate it accordingly versus any other perspective, because it's inevitable that people see things differently. It is a subjective sport.
And some people like things differently.
Oh, 100%. But there's just so much vitriol about hunter judging right now. The people who complain the most should sit there for 5 days and try it. This is a nice solid round.
We've seen a lot of mares tonight, which is interesting.
I love mares. How do you think about mares? What's your opinion?
I mean, I'm not really picky. I love them all.
Yeah.
I really love my mares, but typically in my career, my geldings have been my best horses.
Interesting.
And we don't do a lot of stallions.
Good. That's difficult. Well, not all of them, but certainly most of them. Such a different ball game, though, from what you do and what we do. They're having to be around some horses so closely and wait around at the hunter ring, and for a stallion that can be difficult. That was very solid, Cassie. All right, so we've had 2 solid rounds. Let's see what happens with Georgia.
And you're saying this is your favorite horse, Wyatt?
Wyatt, I love this horse. I watched him go today. He's just an incredible jumper.
And Cassie Warren's contribution, the amateur scores 81, 81, and 81.
Oh,
which will
triple scores. Triple 81.
To an 81.
It's so interesting
We'll go
that
down with the junior
Dandelion
rider.
can
It is
have
Georgia
2
Jacob
comparable
aboard
scores
Wyatt.
and 1 very different score.
9-year-old
And the
Warren
next
Black
horse can
Gelding,
have 3
owned
exact
by
scores.
Georgia out
It
of
is
New York,
interesting.
New York.
So this is a horse that John French showed, as well as Chris Payne showed it, and I love him because he's just the most amazing jumper.
And as a judge, do you remember horses' names?
Yep, I do. If they strike me, 100%. This is a horse that if I'm walking by the ring, I'll stop and watch him. I just get a kick out of him. This is a pretty new partnership, too, and she's doing a great job.
And she started the first jump like she meant it.
Yep.
Out of the box, forward, nailed it. And after you jump number 1, I think no matter what you're doing, hunters, jumpers, equitation,
get going.
You jump number 1, and then you're like, okay, I can take a breath now.
Yep. A little enthusiastic. I love it.
Yeah, she's making smart choices.
Yep, exactly.
She's going to skip the super handy and be super solid.
That's a good plan. Whoops. A little deep there. Let's see how he jumps these pink flowers. What an athlete. That was very nice. Good boy.
Smart ride.
So what do you think? Will this be 3rd? What's your guess? What's your bet?
Pretty consistent rounds.
Yeah, might be 2nd. So we have 6 more teams to go. So far, the first team is holding their lead here. And Elle might be the youngest junior out there. We'll see. So far, she's been the
And the
youngest.
junior will finish things off there with scores 72, 71, and 72. A 71.66 average. Team Newman is going to drop that score and wind up with 160 points, currently taking fourth.
Okay, so fourth place.
We move to team number 9, our next team in, and that is professional rider Carrie Campson, Nadira. Stephanie Donhockle, the amateur rider with Baker Street, and Wyatt Ropey, our junior rider on Becoming. Carrie Campson, the pro, Stephanie Donhockle, the amateur, and Wyatt Ropey, the junior.
Carrie and I rode as juniors together.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Not Canadian.
No. No.
Not a Canadian.
I think she's Floridian. I think that she's from Florida.
I know she lives here now. She has a big training and sales business down here. Goes to Kentucky in the summer and stays here in the winter.
We base here full time, year round in Florida.
What'd you say?
We base here
You
full.
do?
Yeah.
I heard the summer was just brutal last year. Is that true?
It's hot.
Even the people that are down here all the time said it was brutal.
But everybody has homes here, so rather than picking up and moving, we always get to come home.
But aren't you on the road all the time?
I spent a lot of time here in June and July, and our biggest months to travel are August through December.
Oh, that works.
Yeah.
Those are tough months.
Well, that was
Wow.
pretty.
That was
really
impressive.
Pretty.
I don't know this horse. Carrie and Lexi Reed have a business together down here, as I said, mostly sales, and they always have a barn full of lovely, lovely horses.
It's another mare.
Another mare, yay. Wow. I don't know. So far, this has been incredibly impressive. Keep it up. Let's see what she does with this. Sticking with the right turns. Which again, if your horse is a bit easier to the right, use it.
Yeah.
Landed left there, which was perfect.
And then so patient there. I think when you're being handy, to be forward and patient is one of the hardest things.
Right.
Not to be forward and in a hurry.
Not get them quick off the ground, yep.
Take your leg off.
Unless you're at 1.60 m, then don't take your leg off.
Don't take your leg off.
Wow, that was great.
That was beautiful.
Beautifully ridden.
Beautiful horse.
We can hear through the glass, we can hear the applause and the whoops, so everybody's excited. That was really good.
Yeah, 91.
All right, well, I think she's giving Liza a run for her money. Liza Boyd was the first one in the ring, and that's the only 90 we've seen so far.
All three of your score.
And Carrie is going to give her team a great start there at 91 of panel 1. Panel 2 has got a 94 and an 88 panel 3 and an average at 91. The best start from a pro rider so far.
Yeah, that's the best
Well, now
round
we'll
of the
go
night.
to the amateur powerhouses. Stephanie Donhockle on Baker Street, the 11-year-old Royal Dutch Warm Blood gelding.
Now, I would like to put money on Stephanie Donhockle here.
Stephanie out of Pacific Palisades, California.
I think she'd be a great second team member, as accomplished as she is. And I mean, ice in her veins.
And she has experience under the knife.
Oh my gosh.
Under the lights.
Yep, and she is just cool as a cucumber. Just peeked at that a little, but she gave it a great ride.
I mean, when they peak to jump like that, you can't fault them for it.
You know, if they peek, if they just look at it and they jump it in great form, I mean, sometimes it creates a better jump, right? Very handy. Whee! Taking no prisoners.
Yeah. She's taking that pattern that keeps the 4 as singles. Oh, that's a shame.
His lead. Again, risk reward. She decided to go for it. So again, that won't annihilate her. It'll be a few point deduction. Very nicely done. She was not playing it conservatively.
71, 71.
Do they reward the highest round of the night?
I know that they have a style award, but I don't know if they have a high score award. Again,
And
this is all
the
new.
amateur
Yeah.
rating scores 71,
But
68, and 71, and the average out to 7.
I do know everybody gets a ribbon because somebody said that there's just an award for participation for everybody, which is kind of a buzzword.
The junior
around
rider for
sports
team
right
number
now.
9 here
There should
is
not be
Wyatt
participation
Brophy,
awards. I sort of
on
think there should
becoming
be.
a 12-year-old Westphalian mare.
I like to go home with a ribbon.
I like to go home with somebody saying, "You did it. Good job. You put a number on your back and did it."
Yeah.
Beautiful horse, this horse.
Yeah.
Becoming.
But I believe the ribbon, no matter what color it is the reward for the work that you put into it.
Yeah.
So maybe you're 8th and you wish that you were 4th, but still there's something that shows you put the time in, you put the work in, and there's a reward for it.
This young man is doing a great job.
This is a really nice horse.
And again, thinking forward, I mean, he's had one pace all the way around, which is what we love to see. We love to see you kind of hit a lick and just stay on it. Jumping out of rhythm, jumping in good style, not making a bunch of adjustments. You see the horse looks relaxed, light feel of its mouth. It's really quite nice.
And that goes back to finding that canter.
Yep.
Oh, that's brand new. We haven't seen
We
that
haven't
yet.
seen that left turn
That
in
was
front
cool.
of the gazebo. This horse is just wonderful.
And
Rideable and
So interesting. He did that hard inside the gazebo, and then he's going the long way around here.
went around there, yeah.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you do something difficult and then you just lose yourself for a second
Yeah.
because you think, "Oh, I did it." Get your lead change. Good boy.
I would love to know the statistics on the mares versus geldings, because this is also a mare.
Yeah. Maybe that should be another point value next year.
Wow.
Highest mare. That young man rode that beautifully.
That was a beautiful round.
Absolutely beautifully. I hope he's thrilled with himself.
I think that he's happy with his horse.
Wow. I think we'll see more of Wyatt in the future.
7.5, 87.5.
I think we're going to hear some big scores.
Yes. Okay, we'll see if this takes the lead now. What a cute kid.
And Wyatt Rofi closing it out for his team and taking them to the top of the rankings with 87.5, 84.5, score of 80, 84 will drop the amateur score, and Team Campson takes the lead with 175.
Wow.
No, it took a while. Eliza Boyd now dropped down. Team Eliza Boyd down into second, and Team Stephen Gregorio dropped down into third. We'll go to team number 10, and it is headed up by professional rider Brianne Goutal-Marteau and Grand Remo. Amateur rider Grace Debney and lifestyle Clara Prop, the junior rider on Arabesque.
This is quite an impressive team.
We've got some jumper riders on this
We
team.
sure do. So we have Brianne and Grace, who compete at the highest jumper level,
Yeah.
also at the highest hunter levels. So they are the rare dual threat here. Again, most riders, especially pros, are specialists. So Brianne does both, and Grace, still an amateur, does
About
both.
7 seconds. The junior and amateur should head to the holding area.
And then Clara Prop also.
As our junior
Doing
and
the high
others head to
juniors,
the holding area,
She
Brianne
does the U25, I
Goutal-Marteau will
think,
kick
right?
things off.
For
our
sure she does the high
professional for
juniors.
team
Yeah.
Number 10 on the 13-year-old Dutch bred gelding, Grand Remo.
Beautiful horse. Classic looking hunter. Look at him. Brianna, product of our pony and equitation system. Won everything as a pony rider and as an equitation rider, and those natural skills and the teaching trajectory that she was on has produced one of the best riders that we have. I think she's one of the softest hunter riders I've ever seen.
Those hands.
Yep, exactly. I love to watch her in the air because not much moves. Mother of 3 children. Making quite a nice turn just so smoothly. I think she just lulls horses into relaxation.
It's just so nice to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of feel the calm. Everybody's just watching her.
Exactly. She just exudes that.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
So with the horse.
I mean, again, one of the best riders in the country. Knows this horse quite well, obviously.
Brianne Goutal-Marteau sets the bar for her team. She's got 93 out of the first battle, and then an 89 and a 92. By a third, the best start by a professional, 91.33.
Amateur rider Grace Debney is next to work on Lifestyle, the 10-year-old Belgian bred mare. For Team 10, Grace Debney, the amateur and Lifestyle.
I haven't seen Grace in the hunter ring in a while. Not that she hasn't been there, I just haven't seen her.
She won the 2-star Grand Prix last week.
Wow.
We were out on the field last week.
She had the same, her junior hunter won junior hunter finals and the big equitation the Gladstone equitation on the same horse, which is very unusual.
You don't see it as much anymore.
I
It used to
happen-
be you could have one horse to do everything.
Yep. I happen to be judging that year. That horse is just incredible. And, obviously a top jockey. But it was something, you really don't ever see that now. Another mare.
Yeah.
It's got maybe a little fiery there.
She would be a more stereotypical chestnut mare.
The redheads get a bad
Yeah.
name. She's doing a great job just soothing her around the course.
It's a jumper.
Whee.
Yeah.
Grace is not very tall. This mare must be small. That was a brilliant ride.
Smart riding.
Brilliant.
She has the ability to land so light
Mm-hmm.
that the horse can't get reactive. So rather than getting fresh when she lands, she gets quieter.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicely done.
All right, let's see what the judges do with this.
Scott, can you confirm 84?
Oh,
I wonder how the party's going,
Yes,
Aaron.
84.5.
It looks like a full house.
It looks like a full house. We
Right.
see any dancing?
Oh, they're still watching the class.
Scores in 84.5, 78, and 78. The amateur's contribution will be an 80.16.
Okay, now we have Clara Prop, who actually
And now we'll
is
go
a
to the
student
junior
of
rider
Brian
for team number
Martez.
10. It's Clara Prop on Arabesque, the 11-year-old Oldenburg mare. Scores so far for team 10, 91.33, 80.16. And now it's up to junior rider Clara Prop here with Arabesque, the 11-year-old Oldenburg mare.
This mare is just an amazing mover. Beautiful across the ground. Such a good jumper. Has been a very successful hunter in our sport, and is really what they should look like. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Just floats across the ground.
Every time I've commentated, I would love to go out there, ride it one time.
It's this one?
No, the course.
Oh, the course.
Yeah,
Oh.
whether it was McClay finals or the
Oh, I see.
classes that we've done together,
Yeah.
because you watch it and you have a perspective of it. But I would also like to feel it
Yes.
and have a perspective of it.
It would be interesting to do that. So we should set up a commentary situation where you go out and ride the course, then you come back in.
Yeah.
And you say, "This is what it felt like."
This is what it felt
That
like.
turn did not
Yeah.
go as it walked. Wow, look at her. This is one of my favorite current horses. Look at her expression. Very patient.
That was beautifully done.
I don't know. This team might be knock the new leaders out. Let's see. It's pretty consistent. So 175 is the score that's leading right now. Brian has the highest professional score so far. So let's see how Clara does. Let's see if the junior brings this up. That was gorgeous.
And we've got a new team going way to the
There
top
we
with the
go.
best junior performance so far. Scores in 90, 92, 87 for an 89.66, dropping the amateur score and making your new score to beat 181, and your new team to beat Team Gutal.
Wow, 6-point lead.
Oh, a change at the top once again, and that
Huge.
puts Team Kerry Campson in second, and Team Liza Boyd down into third. Stephen Gregorio's team moves into fourth. We'll go now with the team number 11, and their professional rider leading them off will be Jeffrey Hesslink on Bell, amateur rider Caroline Cinerino on Doradus, and junior rider Lily Sonneborn on Spoken. Team 11.
370 is your professional. 370.
So this is a Jeffrey Hesslink team. These amateur and the junior both ride with him. And another mare. It's mare night.
JP, when we did the results, you just wanted to put the team number and then yeah, that'd be awesome. Do we spin all the way to 14? We do.
So many fancy horses.
Yeah,
It's really a pleasure to watch them.
Jeffrey has a very deep string of horses.
And we'll send our junior and amateur to the holding box, and the professional rider up to kick things off for Team 11, Jeffrey Hesslink and Bell, the 12-year-old Hanoverian mare. Bell is owned by Sarah Hogan out of Wellington, Florida, with Jeffrey Hesslink.
I did the commentary with Jeffrey for the Derby last week, and we were talking about him prepping for week 6 here, again the big WCHR week. He took week 4 off with all of his horses and decided to show the string week 5, hoping to peak week 6 and get as many as he can into the night class next week. And now he gets to spin around here before that.
Yeah, I think that there's so much strategy to preparing a horse for what you think are your biggest weeks of the year. And
Absolutely.
Not every week can be a big week, so you kind of have to have your warm-up week or your week for fitness or your week to get them a bit quiet. Some people work backwards. Some people will do week 4. Wow. That's the turn. Oh,
he did
that's
the
the
2.
curve. You know, take week 5 off and show week 6.
Well down there on the pinwheel.
So
Oh, he had a rail.
I'm not sure. Do you know why he stopped?
I think that they said he had a rail, so maybe he just was giving a regroup.
Okay.
You can see the rail out of the cups
Yeah,
there.
I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like aiming a horse for the Derby, right? The Derby
Yeah.
Trail. What races are you going to do to get ready for the first weekend in May, or a tennis player getting ready for Wimbledon or whatever it is? That you have to plan your schedule and the physical well-being of your horses, and again, as you said, their fitness, their soundness, their mental prep. It takes a village.
Yeah.
Nobody gets here just by themselves.
No score for crossing path.
Well, that's too bad.
It's a shame.
Well, he had a knockdown out of it, so wouldn't it be like a 30? Easy trot. In the tape up here, it says you can't jump without crossing 10. Each absolute can only be jumped once.
So that was Jeffrey Hesslink on Bell. We have Caroline Signorino next as the amateur. We're just waiting for Jeffrey's scores.
I guess in this class, the regular class, I guess
You have a view of the pen, which is just a little roped off area near the in-gate.
And so we'll go panel by panel. Panel 1, you get an elimination.
So far, how are you feeling about the course?
I think it's great.
Panel
I think it's fun. When I was walking it, I heard some disparaging comments about the wagon wheel, pinwheel, whatever you want to call it, the 4 jumps in that pattern. But I think it's
well,
fun.
Unfortunately, is rider crossing the path in the pinwheel, and that will be scored by all 3 as an elimination on our first rider for Team 11. So we'll see the amateur rider next. Caroline Cinerino on Gerardus, 13-year-old Dutch-bred mare.
So this is Caroline Signorino on Gerardus. What they're talking about is that there's a rule that you cannot cross your own path. So once you've jumped a fence, the path is erased, but you can't cross your own path in front of the jump. So that's why he was eliminated.
And maybe he knew that, and that's why he took that walk break.
That's
to
probably
finish,
exactly
yeah.
what it was, because that
Yeah.
was not characteristic
Yeah.
of him. Yeah. Good thinking.
Sometimes it's a
Good
little hard up
strategizing,
here
Aaron.
to get perspective.
Yeah, he probably did it and went,
Yeah.
oh, geez.
Yeah.
Caroline Signorino, a very, very accomplished young rider. So now there is no drop score. These 2 count. Or that was the drop score, I should say. That was a nice turn.
I'm very engaged by this class. I think that it's a very cool format, and I would like to see more of them.
I think it is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly, after the first group, I thought, well, this might just go swimmingly for everybody. Because, again, they made it look like kind of another day.
The first group
Right.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've seen a wide variety of scores and happenings and things that we never thought were going to happen. So it's been very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure having done it once, they will make improvements for next year. And I hope they do it next year. I think this is great innovation and a great cause. So I hope we continue it.
And the only way to make our sport better is to add opportunities.
Absolutely. So we'll see what Caroline's scores are.
And scores 75, 82, and 83 for the amateur competitor, averaging out 280.
So Caroline's average is an 80 now. We have Lily Sonneborn on Spoken. It's a very, very seasoned horse.
Correcting
Been
that
the
to
ring many
83,
times.
75, an 82, and an 83. 82, 9-1 for the effort.
Apologies there. Only the 75 came through the radio. Yeah, I probably was premature with the pushing.
Lily Sonneborn, the junior rider for Team 11 on Spoken, a 9-year-old Brandenburg gelding next to work. Final rider here for Team 11.
So Caroline's average ended up being somewhere around 83. So if Lily has a good time of it, that could put them right in to a ribbon. That's right. We all get ribbons, but maybe a primary color ribbon. Beautiful rhythm, very easy. All right, let's see what she does here. That was nice.
That's the second time we've seen that
Oh,
cross
it
canter there.
is. They just lose
Yeah.
their hind end there. The wheel off the wagon wheel, right? This horse has so much stride, he looks like he's going slowly, but he's actually covering the ground beautifully.
And sometimes the video slows it down. It doesn't look quite as slow in real life.
Yeah. Certainly doesn't feel quite as slow. Very nice. Well, that's too bad.
71.5, 71.5.
So let's see what scores Lily brings in with that little lead issue. If you have any questions or comments about the class, shoot me a message on Instagram.
And
Any
the
feedback, I'll take it to the powers that be.
67 and a half and a 73. Averages out to 70.66. Totals out for Team Hasslink 153.58, and right now that goes into 7.
So now in 7th place. No primary color, Aaron.
Still
It'll be a
ridden.
pastel.
Still top 10.
Exactly.
This is a pretty loaded team we have coming in.
Oh my goodness. If we were betting people, if we were in Vegas,
Team 12 makes their
this
way
might
in.
be our
It is
bet.
the national
Probably wouldn't be
rider
great
of the
odds
year from
because
the
I think
United
it's
States.
probably everybody's
John
favorite.
French, the professional.
True.
On Ocean Road, Caroline Kellogg, the amateur rider on Herodios 5, and Paige Walkenbach, our junior rider on Babylon.
So John French is the first to go on Ocean Road, who's been an incredibly successful hunter, junior, amateur. Carrie Campson had him originally. And he's just a super, super horse. The junior is, the amateur is Caroline Kellogg, and the junior is Paige Walkenbach on the famous Babylon, horse of the year.
Do you remember when Eric had Hickstead and McLean had Sapphire?
Yes.
I feel that's a bit the same as Ocean Road and Babylon.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Having these two horses in the ring at the same time, at least they're competing with each other
Yes.
As the
and not against
junior
each
and
other.
amateur
Exactly.
riders head over to the holding area.
John French, the equestrian of the year, 2023.
Our professional rider will start their round
Brought
here.
Babylon along
Is John
from
French
a
on the
very young
11-year-old
horse to where he is now.
Belgian warm blood gelding Ocean Road.
And we talked about that earlier with Private Eye, the professional developing him, making him, and then sort of being rewarded for his work by
Yep.
keeping the horse in the barn.
Ariana Marnell won all of the junior honor classes. We used to have to show against Babylon last year. Now Paige Walkenbach has him this year. He's continued his winning ways, obviously. Just a super, sort of the hunter of our time, I think.
And John could be one of the greatest hunter riders of all time.
Could be. I could make that argument.
Yeah.
And such a nice, unassuming, kind person. Look at that.
He's like, stay on this lead.
Yeah, and just watching him is a riding lesson, I think. But there aren't, I will venture to say this, I'm sure I'll get a lot of disagreement, but there aren't a whole lot of professionals at this level that will take a 4-year-old and make it up. It's in some cases precarious and dangerous, and it's a long road, and he does it, and he loves it. And he had 3 horses last year that were very successful, and he started them all. That was great.
There's something really rewarding about making a horse yours.
Yeah, I have always done it that way. That's how that was the only way when I was growing up that we had stuff to ride, was to buy them young and make them up. Back in the dark ages.
Again, I think sometimes it goes back to the expense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for my family,
Yeah.
for sure.
But even now, not everybody has the time or the money to take one that's young and make it up.
Yep.
John French on the kickoff for his team with 90 and a half, 88 and a half, and an 89, and gives them a good start with 89 and a third.
Now we have Caroline Kellogg.
Amateur Caroline Kellogg and Herodios 5 on course next out of Bedminster, New Jersey. 12-year-old Dutch bred stallion. Caroline Kellogg.
here's a
Oh,
stallion there, right?
interesting, yeah.
Beautiful horse.
He changed his leads in the line on the second stride. Maybe a little slow when she went to ride in for the 7.
Yeah, when she's kind of dug into him
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
That's not really a swap, it's more a change. How do you look at that as a judge?
Well, you want to see them keep their lead.
And do you consider it worse, better, or equal to a swap off the ground?
Okay, so there are different levels of swaps off the ground, right? There's a stepping off of a lead and staying in the middle of the jump, or there's a dive, right? So not all swaps are the same, right? But the more, how do I say this? The more that they strides that they step, I don't know how to say it. When they're going down a line, if they land and they swap their lead 6 strides away from the next jump, that's worse than stepping off the lead at the jump.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry I wasn't very articulate about that. So you don't want to see them land, take 2 strides and swap, and then go to the out of the line.
And a swap that doesn't affect the shape or the line of the jump isn't as significant as one where they go to the corner.
100%, yeah. I mean, for me, just when they step off the lead of the jump, it's a couple of points. It's not if they jump it beautifully and all things are equal. It is not a major mistake in my book. Okay, let's see what Caroline Kellogg has here for scores.
And the amateur Caroline Kellogg adding in the scores 79, 82 and a half, and 82, 81, 1-6 for average.
So an
We'll go
81
down
average.
to the junior rider for Team 12. Here is Babylon and Paige Walkenbach.
There's the man of the hour, Babylon.
Owned by Marnell Sport Horses out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Paige Walkenbach in the irons out of Paradise Valley, Arizona on the 9-year-old Oldenburg Gelding.
Oh, that canter.
Paige Walkenbach with Babylon.
And he's only 9.
Yeah, yeah. You know, he's, for me, he's made to be a hunter, right? The shape of his body, the shape of his head and neck, his carriage, his movement. He's got so much out of in front of him, yet the hind end is as powerful as it needs to be. I just think he's one of the best.
And he wasn't meant to be a hunter because he came from Europe. He was just born that way.
Yeah. He was just drawn that way.
Yeah. I'm very interested in breeding,
Me too.
and I like to follow it. And
You know how he's bred? Because I don't.
For him, no, because I wouldn't know for a hunter.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can breed the best jumper to the best jumper or the best hunter to the best hunter, and you never know what you're going to get.
Nope.
Some are just born better than others.
That is one thing we can count on.
Oh, no.
Oh, he trotted. I think she just made that turn and again just went to take her leg off to see where she was, and he was coming away from the gate and boo.
I'm sure also she's aiming for next week.
You know, and she's hasn't had this horse very
Yeah.
long, and she's forged a beautiful relationship with him, and it's a lot of pressure, and I give this kid a ton of credit.
Yeah.
I mean, the jumps were just flawless,
Beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
But with this class under her belt,
Yeah, exactly.
she can walk in next week.
And
Yep.
the scores there from the junior are all going to be 55,
that's too bad.
averaging out 5-5. That'll be our drop score. Team French is going to rise up to 4th in the rankings, 170 and a half, their combined total.
Okay, so now they're 4th.
Well, Team Brianne Goutal still in the lead on a total of 181. Then it's a 175 from Team Carrie Campson and Team Liza Boyd with a 173.33.
So
Right
two
now
teams
sits
left.
in third. We go to team
Everybody.
number 13. Lucky 13 headed up by professional rider Patricia Giffith and the 10-year-old Westphalian Silver Lining. Callie Seaman, the amateur rider on Moonshine, and the junior rider is Vivian Golding on Chamonix.
So we have 2 riders from Heritage Farm and Vivian Golden, who rides with Amanda Lyerly. Very experienced junior hunter rider. We'll see Patricia Griffith first.
Are you guys keeping a stagger by any chance?
Patricia's been out in this field many, many times.
Jumpers and hunters.
Mm-hmm. Again, a rider really with ice in her veins. Never seen her
We'll
get
have
rattled.
the junior and the amateur rider head to the holding area, and our leadoff rider for Team 13 professional Patricia Griffith with Silver Lining will show the way. Silver Lining owned by Callie Seaman of New York, New York.
So Callie is the amateur rider on this team and owns the horse that she's going to ride and also this horse of Patricia's.
Wow.
That was a great start. Very scopy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Andre Dignelli's watching at home. Hi, shout out to him.
You don't see it too often, but I like the look of Nell Martingale.
You know, I think you're seeing it more and more.
Yeah?
Yep. I do. I used to never see it. And then it became, you know, it was kind of just an accoutrement that you put on for some. Maybe you thought it made their neck look longer or something, but I think the pendulum is swinging or has swung the other way.
Where you don't see them as
You
often.
don't see it as much, yeah.
I don't know. His head never moves. It's in perfect balance.
Yeah, yeah. He's a great looking horse. She did a masterful job of holding him on that lead.
I watched Nick Skelton during the WEF shorten a running martingale like 6 holes, and he said, "Aaron, why do you use it if it's not going to bring the nose in?" And you see the jumpers with these long martingales, and almost like in its accessory.
They're decorative.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful ride.
Very good.
Say again. 9.2.5.
Smooth. horse looks like he could jump a mountain. All right, let's see Patricia's scores here.
Patricia Griffith starts off her team, and a good start it is. 92.5, pair of 90s. 90.83 will be the professional average.
All right, this is looking promising.
Our amateur rider now, Kelly
Fight to the
Seaman,
top.
is aboard the Moonshine. All right, next to work here, amateur rider for Team 13 from Hallowell Lane Farm LLC of Greenwich, Connecticut. Amateur rider Kelly Seaman and Moonshine.
Kelly, a amateur hunter and jumper rider. Two white horses in her string. It's kind of unusual.
Could be twins.
This one has a martingale.
Yeah. In the last group, we had Babylon and the chestnut stallion with white face and white legs. Now we need to have 3 matching ones.
I know, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Like the hunt teams.
Three
right?
grays or 3 chestnuts with chrome, 3 bay mares. The team class is going to evolve to team horses.
We used to try to match all the ponies for the hunt teams. Little rub there, but rail stayed up. She's being very attentive to those leads behind, I think.
Just aware of her horse and where she needs to be.
Yep.
Earlier in the class, we saw Vivian wearing white pants, and we've seen some shad bellies and some normal tan pants with normal hunt coats. Do you have a preference?
I think in a class like this, you should wear formal attire. I don't care if it's white breeches or a shad belly, but I think you should
Dress up.
dress up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Dress up.
I mean, they have, tuxedos over there. The riders should step it up here. I kind of think any night class should be special that way, as well as every other way we can make it special.
In general, tonight, the turnout has been top.
That was great. Really
Yeah.
a good round. All right, let's see what they do with that. Maybe we're going to... The number to beat is 181 overall. This meant that there were 2 riders in the 90s. I haven't heard any score come across. Sometimes we can hear
Kelly
them ahead of you.
Seaman keeps
Here
a
we
good
go.
streak going there. Scores 85.75, 84.75, and an 85 for an 85 1 seconds.
And now
That
rounding
one
out
little
Team
rub.
13, it's
Right,
junior
one little
rider
rub, you're right.
Vivian Golden. Vivian is aboard the entry Chamonix, a 13-year-old Dutch-bred gelding. Owned by Vivian out of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. Junior rider Vivian Golding and Chamonix round out the Team 13 efforts.
Vivian Golden, a very prolific pony rider. Now moved on to horses. That wasn't the first jump she had hoped for, I could tell by her face. She landed and grimaced a little bit. This horse is impeccably turned out,
Yeah.
isn't he?
There is an award for the grooms, which even after judging the grooms class today, they're going to present to the winning grooms.
Oh, good. There was a fair bit of money in that class today, which I love to see. And I think I just did the hunter portion, and I think Chloe Reed did the jumper portion. There were more jumpers in it than hunters. but it was impressive. I think we had 12 in it.
I mean, when we have a night class, our staff starts at 5 o'clock in the morning and works till midnight. So I'm sure
It's amazing.
for all the grooms that are here tonight, it's the same situation. There's no naps during the day.
Especially when you get to indoors where you're up all night using the ring and showing all day and showing all night. It's just a brutal schedule.
And we can't do it without them.
No, unsung heroes, 100%.
We can't do it without the horses, and we can't do it without the staff.
No, nobody gets here alone. Let's see where Vivian ends up here. Then we have our last team, which is really Team Kelly Farmer.
80.5 and 79 and 75 for an average out of 78.16. So the junior is going to be our drop score for Team Griffith. On the strength of the pro and the amateur, 176 points, and right now that gets the red band.
So that is that team is now in second place. So they knocked on the door, 176. Again, the leading score is 181.
Our final team of the night is Team 14. It is led by the professional rider Lexi Reed on Verified. Willing and Sheila Motley, our amateur rider, and Emma Vandenhouten, our junior rider, on Meaningful for Team 14.
So these are all Kelly Farmer produced horses, which is impressive in itself. Unfortunately, Kelly is hurt right now, so can't ride. But she was out there on her crutches walking the course, and I'm sure she was in the schooling area and is riding every stride with these guys. The pro to go first is Lexi Reed, who's in business with Carrie Campson. Sheila Motley is the amateur, and Emma Vanderhouten is the junior. This could be another one to bet on.
Strong team.
Yeah, very strong team.
Well, as our junior and amateur rider head to the holding area, the professional rider will start their round. Here's Lexi Reed on Verified. Emma Vandenhouten is the owner out of Plantation, Florida. Lexi Reed, the professional rider in the irons, on Verified.
Lexi rides all kinds of horses. Young horses, horses just starting out, horses over. They buy a lot of horses in Europe and bring them over and translate them and sell them. Sell them, and so really a good catch rider. Not the first jump she had hoped for. I think she thought the horse was going to sight the jump and take her there a little bit, and he just stuttered off the ground. Happens to us all.
First jump has been hard.
Yeah, I think
All
they're
night.
looking at their
Yeah.
buddies, right?
Yeah. The first jump has been a hard jump.
I could tell by her face when she landed, she was a little miffed at what happened. This horse is a beautiful jumper, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful horse.
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't have too many that aren't beautiful.
No, they definitely are stamped, aren't they? They're sort of cut from the same mold. Always good-headed and beautifully bodied.
Wow.
Lexi, as you know, Aaron, most really good riders and certainly good professionals, it's never the horse's fault. And she's going to come out of the ring and think,
She's telling him.
ugh.
How many times have we all competed where even if we don't get a drop score, we just like a drop jump?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
Can you
the
just not
full
count that
touchdown,
one?
43, 44, 45, 44.
Well, now it's up to amateur rider and junior rider for Team 14. It's amateur Sheila Motley on Willing, an 11-year-old warm blood mare.
Sheila's had a lot of success with this horse in the amateur division.
First half of the remaining two, Sheila Motley, the owner rider out of Wellington on Willing.
Sheila, Liza, and I were all juniors together. It's so fun that we can all still share this sport together on
Yes.
completely different levels.
Sheila has a full-time job. Kind of fits in the riding when she can.
Yeah.
She plans some incredible events, weddings and whatnot. Really an amazing event planner. She's such a dead eye too, isn't she? My God. Beautiful rider. Let's see what she does with this handy element.
I was going to say
I
that,
thought she
that
was
was
turning right. Yeah.
that was a cross.
They all jump that fence. I love it. That's how it should look, right?
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. And staying to the inside there on the out. Finding the inside track so she can just slow down to the oxer. Beautiful jump. Oh,
Yeah,
Cross
she
paths.
did cross her
Yeah.
path. That time you could tell.
yeah. Crossed her path in front of the jump. I think this is going to be controversial tomorrow. What do you think? Because we don't often see that have to be called.
And unfortunately, that's going to result in no score elimination, crossing your path through the pinwheel.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had to call that on anybody, and we've seen it, twice tonight.
Yeah.
For the wrap, our last rider out for Team 14 is Emma Vandenhouten on the 11-year-old gelding Meaningful. Emma from Plantation, Florida.
Well, we thought this might be a bet, but unfortunately things have not gone their way tonight. We thought this might be one of the biggest contenders, and that just shows you that's the horse world, right?
Anything can happen.
Oh my goodness.
And Sheila's round was beautiful.
Beautiful. As was the rest of Lexi's, right?
Yeah.
I love this horse's expression. He's adorable.
And to be in a situation for Emma right now, there's no pressure.
Mm-mm.
She's just out there riding her horse around.
Yep.
So when you're an anchor rider, sometimes there's a lot of pressure. And right now she can just enjoy the moment and ride her best rounds.
Exactly. And hope she gets back next week. She has a lot of success with this horse.
was really pretty.
Beautiful.
I'm actually excited to talk to people tomorrow and see their perspective on it.
Yeah, on the whole class,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's a real positive, and I appreciate the people that went into engineering this and thinking of it and executing it.
Yeah.
And I hope we see it again next year. I hope we see a lot more of that at other venues.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful round,
Yeah.
Emma.
I think the possibilities are endless for it. I think it could go in a very big way. We've never seen anything team-oriented in the Hunters.
No, there is some team hunter challenges out in the field, but nothing like this. You know, at various horse shows, but nothing like this. I hope everybody enjoyed it who participated in it because it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's hard up here because it's quiet.
Right.
And you're not interacting, and you don't really know what's happening in real time. But I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it, and Andy Christensen, the course designer, always does a masterful job.
Closing
So
things
shout
out
out to
to
him
our
as well.
night. 84 and a quarter, 84 and a quarter again off of panel 2, and 86.
Good for her.
83. Best score out of the group. Their total will be 128.
So
83.
Brianne Goutal-Marteau, Grace Debney, and Clara Propp are the winners. They nailed it. I think now we're getting ready for the ribbon presentations, and all 14 teams get a ribbon, so we get participation
A
ribbons.
nice salute to the winning team.
Which
We'll
I
come
love.
to our prize giving shortly. The team led off by Brianne Goutal-Marteau with Grace Debney and Clara Propp will take the top honors in our class. We'll get the riders situated here for the prize giving coming up. And we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight and help support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County and their work to help youth of all backgrounds develop the qualities needed to become responsible citizens and leaders. The club offers daily access to a broad range of programs in 6 core areas.
Okay,
Character
on
and
that
leadership
note, as
development,
Oliver
education and career development,
talks
health and life
before
skills,
the ribbon
arts,
presentation,
sports, and
we're going to
fitness,
sign
along
off.
with
Aaron, thank you.
technology.
That was very
The VLS
enjoyable.
Hirsch family,
And maybe
Boys
we'll
and
do
Girls
this
Club
together
of
again
Wellington
next year.
currently
Very
serves
good. I'm looking
1,200
forward to
And
it.
good luck in the Grand Prix.
And
Thank
if
you.
you'd like to
All
learn
right.
more about how you
Good
can
night,
get
everybody.
involved
Thank you
with
for
the Boys
joining
and
us.
Girls Club, please visit bgcpbc.org. And we want to thank our sponsors again. The event is brought to you by Kristen Baran. We thank Kristen for her generous support of our event, benefiting the Boys and Girls Clubs under the lights. And again, it's presented by Sebleon and co-chaired by Georgina Bloomberg and Jenny Oz. And we'll be coming with our prize giving ceremony here in just a few moments at Center Ring. Yeah, let's welcome back our 14th place team. It is the team headed up by professional Lexi Reed. amateur rider Sheila Motley and junior rider Emma Vandenhouten. The team was trained by Kelly Farmer and Vanessa Brown. Verified's groom Ivan Lanos. Willing groom was Emilio Tamayo Gomez, and Meaningful's groom was Rolando Roblero. Our 13th place team tonight was the team headed up by Vivian Yowen. Our professional was Say Wen. Vivian, the trainer of Say Wen, and Jorge Solano Morales was the groom. Caitlin Porath and Bro, the amateur rider, trained by Peter Pletcher, and the groom was Manuel Canales. And the junior rider, Chloe Cairns, trained by Vivian Yowen, on Advent, groomed by Jorge Solano Morales. And now we'll go to our 12th place team. The 12th place team is headed up by Michael Britleon, the professional on True Cassini, groomed by Marcus Antonio, and trained by Michael Britleon. Kelly Sims, the amateur rider, with Private Eye, and groomed by Silvano Chavez. And Madison Keese, the junior rider, with groom Jose Siles, all three trained by Michael Britleon. They will finish up in 12th place. Finishing up in the 11th place, it was the team headed up by Brady Mitchell, the professional on Cornet's Edition. The trainer was Adam Graham, and Erlen Morales was the groom. Ashley Hodges and Nanook, trained by John Barker, groomed by Domingo Acosta. And the junior rider, Chloe Tanner, trained by Vivian Yowen on Heartbeat Zed, and the groom was Victor Davis. We'll go to the 10th place team, and that was the team led by Nicholas Pongratz. Trained by Ivan Rakowski, he was aboard Lelut, groomed by Manuel Hernandez. Sam Beater, the amateur rider on Dayglow, trained by Alex Granado, and it was groomed by Nelson Sandoval. And Zara Humian was trained by Malin Beckman on Cardinal and was groomed by Andrew Beckman. Our 9th place team is the team led by professional rider Jeffrey Hessling, trained by Brendan Williams. Jeffrey was aboard Bell. Bell was groomed by Chino Sanchez. Amateur rider Caroline Cinerino, also trained by Brendan Williams. On Gerardus, trained by Freddie Sanchez. And Lily Sonneborn. Lily, trained by Brendan Williams, was the junior rider aboard Spoken, trained by Martin Alvarez. The 8th place team was led by professional rider Catherine Newman. Catherine, the trainer of Dandelion, and Homero Calderon was the groom. The amateur rider was Cassie Warren, trained by Bonnie and Eilish Kniff on MTM Casablanca, trained by Pablo Sosa. And the junior rider Georgia Jacob, trained by Patricia Peckham on Wyatt, groomed by Chino Paz. 7th place team is the team led by Maria Rasmussen, the professional. Maria also the trainer of Worthy, groomed by Luis Ruiz. Ashton Alexander with the amateur ride, Michael Britleon with 21 questions, and Luis Reyes. And Maya Grove, the junior rider with Goodfella, groomed by Juan Romo. We'll go to the 6th place team. That is the team led by professional rider Stephen Gregorio with Ledgeway. Trained by Bill Schaub and groomed by Erasmo Lenos. Madison Arani, the amateur rider, trained by Michael Delfiandra, and she was aboard Madewell, groomed by Miguel Luna. And Elodie Watras, the junior rider, trained by Freddie Vasquez on Paper Trail, and that was groomed by Carlos Ochoa. The team 5th place today will go to the team led by professional rider and national USCF Rider of the Year, John French, with Ocean Road. Trained by Kim Davidson and groomed by Jose Alvarez. The amateur rider Caroline Kellogg, trained by Rolf Bowersock, and Caroline was aboard Herodias the 5th, groomed by Cesar Canales. And Paige Walkenbach, the junior rider, trained by Kim Davidson, is again aboard Babylon, groomed by Carlos Acias. And now we get to our top 4 teams. In 4th place, the team led by Liza Boyd, our early leader. Professional rider Liza Boyd was trained by Jack Tal. She was aboard day 1, groomed by Olivia Murray. Then we had Amira Ketena, trained by Lee Ketena, and she was aboard Cartinas, and groomed by Lee Ketena. And El Boy, the junior rider, trained by Jack Tal on Illusion Imperio Egipio, and groomed by Olivia Murray. And now let's welcome our top 3 teams. In 3rd place, professional Kerry Campson. Amateurs Stephanie Donhockle and Wyatt Rofi Jr. Lexi Reed, Ken Berkeley, and Justin Dye, the trainers. Marco Delara, the groom of Adira. Fernando Cruz of Baker Street and Becoming, and Antonio Suelo. 2nd place team is the team led by Patricia Griffith, trained by Andre Dignelli. Callie Seaman and Vivian Golden, trained by Amanda Lyerly. Silver Lining was groomed by Raul Udave. Moonshine by Rolando Hernandez, and Armando Serra, grooming Chamonix. And now let's welcome in your winning team. It's the team led by Brian Goutal Marteau, the professional rider, also the trainer of this team on Grand Remo, groomed by Sebastian Loja. Grace Debney had the ride on Lifestyle with Cruz Zavala, the groom, and Clara Prop on Arabesque, groomed by Alejandro Dominguez, your winning team, and our Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Hunt Team Exhibition. Our riders come in to approach the podium here. We will welcome in our sponsors who we'd like to recognize. Representing our presenters is Jeannie Miranda, from the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County. Our title sponsor of the Baran Hunt Club Ball and the Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Exhibition, Kristen Baran. The co-chair of the Hunt Ball, Georgina Bloomberg, and her co-chair, Jenny Oz Leroy, joining us for the presentation. As again, we ask our teams to dismount here as they come up to the line, and our grooms in for the entries, as we will be asking our teams here in just a moment to step up onto the podium as we introduce them. And we'll ask our third place team of Carrie Campson, Stephanie Dunhockle, and Wyatt Rofi to step up onto the podium. Carrie had the round of 91 score on Adira. Stephanie a score of 70 with Baker Street, and Wyatt with becoming a score of 84 for that team total of 175 to finish up in third place. Our second place team steps up onto the podium. The team of Patricia Griffith, the professional, had a 90.83 on Silver Lining. Callie Seaman with an 85.16 on Moonshine, and Vivian Golden, the junior, on Chamonix had a 78.16. And now let's welcome up your winners. Professional Brianne Goutal-Marteau with Grand Remo, scoring a 91.33. Amateur rider Grace Debney on Lifestyle at 80.16, and Clara Prop, the junior with Arabesque, scored an 89.66 for the win. Our presentation party makes their way down again, shaking hands, get the win photo as we again salute our top finishers. We thank Jeannie Miranda from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County, their CEO. Our title sponsor of the event this evening, Kristen Baran. Georgina Bloomberg and Jenny Osleroy are co-chairs of this evening's Hunt Ball, all raising money for that great cause, the Neil S. Hirsch Boys and Girls Club of Wellington. Team leader there, Brianne Goutal, with the trophy, hoisting it high here as we salute the efforts as Grace Debney gets her trophy as well for the rider, and Clara Prop again receiving her trophy here tonight for the win in our $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Boys and Girls Team Hunter Exhibition. We would like to salute our Style Award winners again, and Kristen Baran will be making that presentation in honor of Patty Raines. Our Style Award winner is Liza Boyd, taking the Style Award win. In second in the Style Award, it will go to Grace Debney, and third place in the Style was Wyatt Rolfe, and we salute all three of these riders for their efforts and their classic style of riding. Well, thank you all for joining us here tonight. We hope you had an enjoyable time. We welcome again for joining us for the inaugural Kristen Baran $100,000 Neil S. Hirsch Family Boys and Girls Club Hunt Team Exhibition. Good night, everybody, and we hope you have a safe trip home, and we will see you back here tomorrow night. It's 5-star Grand Prix action here in the International Ring as our week continues at week 5 here of the Winter Equestrian Festival.